Tuesday night, 8:33 p.m. You are looking at Regulus. Alpha Leonis. It's got that beautiful golden red color. There is a filter involved in this, so the color isn't quite right, but I just love all the tiny stars all around its field of view. Tonight we're going to cover, I believe it's the NGC 3800 to 3850 series. If the weather holds, I'll probably push it up to the 3900s. The idea is to at least get to NGC 4000 if the weather is reasonably accommodated before we start to have too much of a moon. Anyway, I hope to get as far as 4400, but we shall see. 8:34 p.m., the 16th of April, 2026, a Thursday night, and you are seeing the beautiful golden colors of Regulus. Well, folks, how about 192 stacks with only 3 ignored of the Leo trio? Isn't that nice? How about that? This is a 5-second exposure. I'm on auto histogram settings. Boy, NGC 3628 looks great. I got to move on now and start capturing. It's now 8:55. Sky dark has descended, and there's a lot to cover this evening. All right, moving on. Okay, I just checked online. It has been a week. April 9th was the last time I put out an astro vid in the NGC series. What we're looking at here at 105x is NGC 3800. Not a bad view. Moon's out of the picture. Sky looks pretty dark, as well as I can tell it. I want to get data, and I forgot to put it in. 3800. I did go online to confirm that I am actually supposed to be touring the 3800 series. We've now got 8 stacks of NGC 3800. The data is, it's a galaxy in Leo, magnitude 12.7, 2 by 0.6 arc minutes, works for me. Spiral with a bar, lowercase b, so a brightest core, but peculiarities, and this is why it's got peculiarities. It's gravitationally interactive with a neighboring galaxy, which will probably be somewhere in the 3790 series itself. RA 11 hours 40 minutes 13 seconds with a declination of plus 15 degrees 20 minutes 31 seconds. This galaxy is probably about 90,000 light years distant, or 90,000 light years in diameter, 150 million light years distant. I should say we're going to have more than 75 studies this evening in the series. What we're looking for here is NGC 3801. Now, there's 3 galaxies obvious in the field. It's a magnitude 12, 2.8 by 1.7 arc minutes. So let's see what class it is. Lenticular spiral? Well, I would say it's probably this one. 150 million light years distant. Right ascension of 114016 with a declination of plus 174339. This galaxy is probably somewhere around 125,000 light years in diameter, and this one here is my best candidate. NGC 3802 is in the same field, so I didn't bother. You can see the slight shift in these brighter stars. That means it's going to be this galaxy right here. 3802 is a galaxy in Leo, magnitude 13.3, 1.1 by 0.3 arc minute, almost a 4-to-1 aspect ratio, spiral with a lowercase c. Notice the core isn't nearly as bright or pronounced. 150 million light years distant puts this one much smaller, probably somewhere around 60,000 light years in diameter. It's a right ascension 114018 with a declination of plus 174555. Both these galaxies, and probably this third, are in the sky's middle third. So well placed for observation. Okay, NGC 3803 is the third galaxy in the sequence. I did reinitialize it, so they're not going to have as many stacks. We got 2 stacks right now. 3803 Galaxy Leo, it's magnitude 16.5, so it's going to be one of this fainter galaxy we may have noticed earlier. Not this brighter, but more diffuse galaxy there. It's in Leo, 0.3 by 0.3 arc minutes, elliptical, 159 million light years distant, which means it's probably somewhere around magnitude 15. I would hope that we would get a better view of it, but I would suspect it's one of these fainties here. I'm going to pause for a second and let a few more stacks build up. NGC 3803 is probably this galaxy here, Leo, 16.5.3 by 0.3 arc minutes. We might get a brighter view of it if I increase the magnification, and there we have it. We have actually several fainty galaxies here. This is probably the faintest one that's in the NGC catalog, and let's move on. NGC 3805 is probably that solitary, brighter galaxy. I just had to slip some gloves on. It's very frigid out tonight for early spring, but it still should be warmer than this normally. 3805 Galaxy Leo, magnitude 12.6, 1.4 by 1.1, lenticular spiral, so that basically qualifies it there. Very brilliant core. 294 million light years distant, gives it a size of about over 100,000 light years in diameter. RA 114041, declination plus 20 degrees, 20 minutes, 34 seconds. NGC 3806 is probably that fainter galaxy, yes indeed, and the galaxy group we saw earlier beginning with 3800. 3806 is also NGC 3807. We'll skip that one. Magnitude 13.6, 1.4 by 1.4, but it's a spiral with a bar and a lowercase b. So it does have a core, but not much to it. 160 million light years, so part of that group, and probably no more than, say, 70,000 light years in diameter. RA is 114046 with a declination of plus 174744. NGC 3808. Kind of a faintish galaxy here. There's actually a pair. I'm wearing gloves, so it's harder for me to manipulate the mouse. Come on. There we go. Galaxy in Leo, magnitude 13.4, 1.6 by 0.9. Let's see if we can pick it out based on data. Spiral with a bar, lowercase c with peculiarities. Those galaxies are interactive. 314 million light years distant means they're pretty large, maybe 140,000 light years in diameter. I believe it's this one here. RA 114044, declination plus 22, 25, 44. Okay, NGC 3810 is a very promising, very bright galaxy. Let's get some data on it. In Leo, magnitude 10.8. 4.1 by 2.7 arc minutes, brilliant core with an extended core region and an aura that looks rather football-shaped. 54 million light years distant puts it about 60,000 light years in diameter. RA 114058 with a declination of plus 11, 28, 17. We're beginning to see spiralicity in this galaxy. I'm going to give it a few more stacks and pause out, and so we can see more of it once we get a few more stacks. Here's our 10-stack view, and I believe it's 150x, backing back down to 105x, and that is quite a nice detailed view of NGC 3812. Sorry, that was 3812 is the next study in our series. That must have been 3810 or 11. Okay, I had to take off my gloves because I wasn't really able to manipulate the cursor. NGC 3812 Galaxy Leo, magnitude 12.4, 1.7 by 1.6 face on elliptical. That means it's probably this one right here, not the spiral above. 166 million light years distant gives it a size of maybe 80 or 90,000 light years. Right ascension 114107, declination plus 244917. NGC 3813 is a galaxy in Ursa Majoris. Could be it. Let's see, magnitude 11.6, yeah, it qualifies very nicely. But its aspect ratio is 2 to 1, and this looks more severe than that. Spiral with a lowercase b, it does have a brightish core. 71 million light years distant, quite small, maybe 45,000 light years. RA 114118 with a declination of plus 36, 32, 48 in Ursa Majoris. Here is our 105x view of NGC 3813. NGC 3814 is vaguely visible at 30x. I do believe it's that galaxy right there. In Leo, magnitude 15.6. That's a little bright for that, depending on the type of galaxy it is. 0.4 by 0.2 arc minutes. That may be a little large. It could be this one here. AdventuresInDeepSpace.com. Consult with Steve Gottlieb. It's a spiral, 160 million light years distant. So therefore, not much more than maybe 25K in diameter. RA 114127 with a declination of plus 244818. Okay, we did a little bit of a jig. This bright star dropped down to NGC 3815. I suspect this is it. Galaxy Leo, magnitude 13, 1.7 by 0.9 arc minutes, spiral with a lowercase ab, 1.5 times removed lenticular. Brightest core, 170 million light years distant. Maybe this one's somewhere around 80,000 light years in diameter, maybe a little bit more. RA 114139, declination plus 2448 and null seconds. NGC 3816. Oh boy, they're all centering up quite well. I did spend some time, and I'll explain that later. 3816, Galaxy Leo, magnitude 12.5, 1.9 by 1.1 lenticular. Yeah, bright core, 253 million light years distant, puts this probably 170,000 light years in diameter, larger than Messier 31. RA 114147 with a declination of plus 20.0613. Let's push it up first to 150x and back down to 105x for that beauty optimal shot. Okay, as it turned out, you cannot trust your bubble levels on your mount. I had to go and shim one of the legs up to be able to get things to line up pretty decently. Here we should be seeing NGC 3817 in a galaxy group. Now, you pick them. Magnitude 13.3, 1 by 0.9, so pretty face on. The next clue is spiral with a bar, the lenticular A class, so a bright core. 276 million light years distant doesn't tell you much, except that it's probably no more than 70,000 light years in diameter. RA is 114153 with a declination of plus 10, 18, 13. We will be back to this galaxy group, and that will help us determine which of these galaxies is NGC 3817. 3818 is a galaxy in Virgo. I think this may be the second one so far this season. Its magnitude 11.7, 2 by 1.2 arc minute elliptical. So very bright core. I'm going to push it up to 150x so we can make out any faint extensions. 75 million light years distant, so maybe 50K in diameter. RA 114157 with a declination of minus 60921. NGC 3819 is back in that galaxy field, I believe. Let's back it out to... Yeah, I do believe it's the same field we had previously. Galaxy Leo, magnitude 13, 8.8 by 0.7 arc minute elliptical. So this is going to have a very bright core and fairly small size. Possibly, but there seem to be extensions on this. Let's push it up a little bit to 150x. It's elliptical, 284 million light years distant, so maybe 70K in diameter. RA 114205 with a declination of plus 10, 2103. NGC 3820 is part of this group. Galaxy Leo, magnitude 14.4, the faintest one yet, 0.7 by 0.4 arc minute. Let's see what the spiral with a lowercase bc. I suspect it's this one here. 274 million light years distant, puts it maybe at 65K in diameter. RA 114204 with a declination of plus 10, 2302. We've now got 16 stacks of this galaxy group. NGC 3821. Ooh, very small, tight galaxy. In Leo, magnitude 12.9, 1.4 by 1.3 arc minutes. Spiral with a bar, lenticular A, so very close to having a very bright core, and that confirms it. It also has a ring to it. So let's see if we can make out the frontier. 261 million light years distant, puts it about 90,000 light years in diameter. RA 114209, declination plus 20, 1855. And if I'm rushing, it's cold. NGC 3822 is also a part of that galaxy group. Shows you how stacks really help out, doesn't it? Because every time we come into it, it doesn't look nearly as bright as the last time through. It's also NGC 3848. It's magnitude 13.1, 1.4 by 0.8 arc minute lenticular spiral. I suspect it's this one here. 277 million light years distant, puts it at around 90,000 light years in diameter. RA 114211 with a declination of plus 10, 16, 39. Okay, we're down south now in Crater, well away from that galaxy group, and we're looking for NGC 3823 galaxy in Crater, magnitude 14, 1.5 by 1.3. Yeah, it's easy to pick out. It's an elliptical. 297 million light years distant, rather large one, maybe over 110 K in diameter. RA 114215 with a declination of minus 1352 and 0 seconds. NGC 3825 is part of that galaxy group once again. This one happens to be in Virgo, however. NGC 3825 is also 3852, magnitude 13, 1.3 by 1 arc minute, spiral with bar, lowercase a. Like the rest, 291 million light years distant, that range. RA 114223, declination plus 10 degrees, 15 minutes, and 50 seconds. Spiral with a bar, lowercase a. I'm not going to guess on this. I got to get moving. NGC 3826. Boy, it's going to be a fainty, smally too. Galaxy in Leo, it's also 3830, magnitude 13.4, 0.9 by 0.7 arc minute elliptical. Okay, let's center that baby up. 408 million light years distant means it's probably somewhere around 120 K in diameter. RA 114232 with a declination of plus 26 degrees, 29 minutes, and 20 seconds. Let's see if we can't push the magnification up. And there is a view of it and some kind of edge-on galaxy, which should be a later contact. NGC 3827, lining up kind of nicely there. Galaxy Leo, magnitude 13.3, 0.9 by 0.8. Spiral with a lowercase m. 142 million light years distant. I have no idea what a lowercase m is. Puts it about 55 K in diameter, right ascension 114236, with a declination of plus 18, 50, 41. NGC 3828, could be that edge on, or it could be something down here. Galaxy Leo, magnitude 15.5, probably the one down there, because 0.8 by 0.8 arc minute spiral, 157 million light years distant, probably more like magnitude 14.5, but who knows. RA 114258, declination of plus 16, 29, 13. What I mean by that, who knows? It's probably photographic 15.5, probably visual 14.5. NGC 3831 is between the diffraction power line bars, but fortunately it's in a dark region. Let's make sure we get that 105x view. It's 3831's galaxy in Crater, magnitude 14. It could be its visual, 2.7 by 0.6 arc minute. Yeah, it's presenting nicely. Spiral with lowercase a. And an annularity, 222 million light years distant, means probably about 180,000 light years in diameter. RA 114318, declination minus 125240. NGC 3832 is quite visible in the field, if that's it. Going by data, let's confirm. Looks like it's got an annularity. It's a galaxy in Leo. Magnitude 13, 1.9 by 1.6 arc minute, spiral with a bar, lowercase c. Yeah, that conforms. 312 million light years distant. This baby is probably about 190,000 light years in diameter. RA 114331, declination plus 22, 43, and 30. Sure does look like it should have an annularity to it. Apparently, there's some spiral arms visible in this magnitude 13 galaxy. NGC 3833 is also vaguely visible in this field of view. We got a choice between a bright core and an extended nebulosity. Galaxy in Virgo, magnitude 13.5, 1.4 by 0.7. Okay. Spiral with a lowercase c. Is that this one or is it this one? 274 million light years distant, means probably about 95,000 light years in diameter. RA 114328 with a declination of plus 10 degrees, 9 minutes 41 seconds. You know what my vote is. And if you're not sure, Steve Gottlieb at adventuresindeepspace.com. NGC 3834, always look for it first on the 30x field. If it is, it's probably brighter than magnitude 14, if overhead 13, if further south. That is my approach to it anyway. Galaxy in Leo, magnitude 13.4, 1.4 by 1 arc minute, spiral, that's all. 310 million light years distant, probably puts it about 115,000 light years in diameter. RA 114337 with a declination of plus 190524. Thought I'd give a 150x view on this one. NGC 3836 seems to be visible in the field next to that star. Here's our 105x view. It's a galaxy in crater, magnitude 13, 1.4 by 1.3, spiral with a lowercase b, 163 million light years distant. So the size is probably somewhere around maybe 75K. RA 114329, declination minus 1647 and 46 seconds. Got to keep moving here now. No more quotations on size. NGC 3837, galaxy in Leo, magnitude 13.3, 0.6, elliptical, 286 million light years. RA 114356, deck, plus 1953 and 40. Nice field. NGC 3839, a galaxy in Leo. Magnitude 13.6, 1 by 0.5, spiral with a lowercase d. Not much of a core. 270 million light years distant. RA 114354, declination of plus 104702. NGC 3840 is a galaxy in Leo. Magnitude 13.8, 1.1 by 0.8, spiral with a lowercase a, 329 million light years distant. RA 114358, deck plus 200436. NGC 3841 is in the same group. Let's see if we can figure it out. This is strange. Galaxy Leo, magnitude 13.6, 0.7 by 0.5, simply listed as a spiral, 285 million light years distant. RA 114402, declination plus 195817, adventuresindeepspace.com to track things down. NGC 3842 is in the same group, Galaxy Leo, magnitude 11.8. That should make things a little easier. 1.4 by 1 elliptical, that makes sense, 284 million light years, right ascension 114402, declination plus 195658. NGC 3843, the solitary galaxy in Virgo, magnitude 13.5, 0.9 by 0.4. Spiral with a lowercase a, 267 million light years distant, RA 114354 with a declination of plus 7 degrees, 55 minutes, 32 seconds. NGC 3844 is an interesting galaxy. It may be out of order because this is more like it. Galaxy Leo, magnitude 13.9, 1.2 by 0.2 arc minute, spiral with a lowercase a, 310 million light years distant, RA 1144, declination plus 20, 0144. That looks a little large. I don't know. Have to pick through these. AdventuresInDeepSpace.com. Okay, we're still in the same galactic neighborhood. I'm going to push it up. For Galaxy in Leo, NGC 3845, magnitude 14.8 by 0.3 arc minutes. Let's get that bar out of there. 257 million light year distance spiral with a lowercase b, RA 114405, declination plus 19 degrees, 59 minutes and 44 seconds. Whoops, hold on. Okay, we're getting ready to wind up now. NGC 3847. There's some fainty galaxies all throughout this field, maybe 4 or 5 of them anyway. It's also NGC 3856, Galaxy in Ursa Majoris, magnitude 13.3. Face on 1.1 by 1.1 elliptical. That puts this one right in the center of the field of view. 427 million light years distant, Largy. RA 114414 with a declination of plus 33, 30, 51. NGC 3847. NGC 3848 is part of that galaxy group. Once again, this one's in Virgo. It's also 3822, so we already covered this. So it's going to be further to the east. What I'm going to do, further to the west, I'm just going to go ahead and push the magnification up on this and let it settle. Maybe we'll be able to map it all out later. 3822, 3848 was that lenticular galaxy, 277 million light years, 1.4 by 0.8 arc minutes. And let me pause while I go and look for my next study, and we'll see if we can get a few more stacks. Okay, we're going to exit on NGC 3849. It's getting quite cool. This was the feature galaxy group of the night. It'll be interesting to figure out if it's a Higgs galaxy group and what its designation is, and to get a better sense of it. I also recommend going to theskylive.com and seeing finer resolution, slightly brighter, with more detail images that look much more aesthetically pleasing than the current views we're getting now. In fact, I'm wondering if I turned on noise reduction. I had not, so that's a bit problematic. But at least it'll be on in the NGC 3850 to 3899 series if I don't freeze to death before doing it. Our final study of the NGC 3800 to 3849 series is, in fact, NGC 3849. Galaxy in Virgo, magnitude 14.6.8 by 0.5 arc minutes. It's a spiral with a lowercase a, so it's probably visual magnitudes around 14, 268 million light years distant. RA 1145.35, declination of plus 3 degrees, 13 minutes and 53 seconds. That's fine. We got 28 minutes and change in. Let's go find something to go out on. Well, let's go out on this mystery galaxy right here. We'll push it all the way up to 150x. What can you say about this galaxy? Does it seem to have much of a core? Is it presented edge on or face on? Come on, these are easy questions, folks. All you have to do is ask them. Not much of a core, tremendous amount of extension. Presented edge on, we're seeing the dark lane of cold dark matters, which has yet to condense into stars. Fairly immature galaxy, and if you know the distance and you know the apparent size, you can get a sense of how actual large it is. I believe this one's about 25 to 30 million light years distant. I believe it's let's call it 10. Let's say it's 10 arc minutes in length. It's actually 13 plus, and it's 30 million light years together. You multiply the 10 by 30, you get 300. 300 is some percentage of, let's say, 330, and so it's, and 330, if it were 330, it would be 100,000 light years in diameter, roughly. So you figure the size is maybe somewhere around 90,000 light years in diameter. We're, of course, looking at NGC 3628, one member of the Leo trio at a 30-second exposure. 65, 66, 36:28. And with that, I am going to say carpe noctem. Now, 30 minutes into this astrovid.